Hi, gang. Mark Gilliard here for AIM Country Music Television, and our guest is Katrina Burgoyne. She's a big believer in the idea that if you can dream it, you can do it. And Katrina's a dedicated dreamer, but she's also a truly hard worker who takes the doing seriously. She's had 4 songs and an album break the top 10 in the ARIA charts. That's the Australian Recording Industry Association. Her song Tennessee reached #1 on CMT Australia. She's even had 2 CMAA nominations. Now she dreams of repeating all those successes in the American country music market. I believe she'll always be an Australian through and through, but at the same time, I also believe she is Nashville, Music City, country music through and through. She's making a splash here with songs like 25 Cents in the Ashtray, Tennessee, and Before Summer Starts to Fall, that last one with Troy Kemp. She's here today to talk about her new release, I Want to Get Away With You. Let's get Katrina in here right now to talk about what might just be your new favorite song. Welcome, Katrina. How are you getting along today?
I'm good, Mark. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really well. Well, thanks for joining us. We're excited to have you here. We already have your songs 25 Cents in the Ashtray, Tennessee, and Before Summer Starts to Fall playing on the network. So our audience is familiar with your music. So yes.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for the support. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. You're very talented. I mean, it does come across really well. I do think that our audience would like to know a little bit about the girl behind the song. So,
Okay.
just take a couple of minutes and just tell us about yourself.
Well, perfect. Well, I'm a small town girl from a town called Gunnedah in New South Wales, Australia. And I remember being about 14 years old. Someone planted the seed of being a songwriter in Nashville. And I would tell my teachers that I'm going to be a country singer in Nashville one day. And they would roll their eyes and laugh at me. But fast forward, here I am in Nashville, Tennessee. I have been living here for 5 years now. And I literally, my song 25 Cents in the Ashtray tells the story of me coming over here with 3 suitcases, my guitar, and $15,000 to start my life from scratch. I bought myself a cheap little car and could only make an income from playing music on my visa restrictions. So let's sprinkle in the most competitive music city in the world, Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
And I was banging down doors and trying to play on any stage that will have me for tips, so I could try and pay rent. And, I remember thinking in that time that I didn't have a lot. I didn't know if I was going to pay rent, but I remember thinking, one day I'm going to look back at this time and go, man, that were the best days of my life. So I think that kind of sums up my life, really. It's like taking a risk and living. I remember thinking I'm going to live with absolutely no regrets. So here I am doing it in Nashville.
So after going through all that, after completely establishing yourself in a foreign country and getting to where you're at now, you feel like that challenge was all worth it, right?
Absolutely. It was bloody hard. And I had a lot more willpower than I even think I have. I look back at that and I go, I don't know how I did that. I actually ended up falling sick for a time as well, which kind of threw a spanner in the works. I had to have 2 operations on my sinuses, which would leave me without any vocals. So to try and make an income, oh man, to try and make an income with no money and with no ability to work, it was an interesting time. I just lived on a prayer and 2 weeks worth of gigs, and then would rest my vocals for another 2 weeks every month. But you know what? Someone was watching over me, and I got through it. And then, I think I met my husband right after, right when I was at the point of I'd got through it, but my resilience, I ran out of willpower. It was at the point where I was like, I don't know if I want to do. I don't know if I can keep doing this. And I met my husband, and I went home to Australia for 3 months, and he ended up flying out. And I'll tell you a bit more about this because this is about the new song. He ended up flying out to Australia and said, come back to Nashville. I'm going to keep you safe. You don't have to do it on your own now. And the rest is history. It's funny how much you can flourish when you come from a space of safety.
So how many songs would you guess that you've written?
You know what? I counted my songs years ago, 5 years ago, that I wrote from 2015 to 2018, I think, and I'd written 500 in that space.
Is that right?
Yeah, I would probably over 1,000. But you know what? I'm slowing down. I'm not writing as much as I used to. I would write every day, and but now it's I still feel like the same amount of inspiration comes. For me, I find I could either write every single day, or I could just write the songs that like nag at me in my mind. And it's always the nagging songs that seem to push through and be the songs that I keep and I release. But also too, I've changed my direction. I moved to Nashville as a songwriter, not believing in myself enough to be the artist. But as time moves on, now when I sit in a writing room, I write for the purpose of me being the artist, and it's just changed my direction. And I think it's really hard to sit down there 5 days a week and write songs now. I just find it doesn't inspire me anymore. I just feel like it's like a wet rag, and you're just trying to squeeze a little bit more out. And I try and write when I'm inspired now.
Yeah. Well, once you've been in front of an audience, it's hard to get enough of that. That's the artist amongst us. Once they've got that taste for it, it's pretty hard to satisfy that without getting out there on stage.
That's 100% true.
Yeah, kind of a common theme I hear where people were shut down during COVID, that now it's just so great to get out there and have that feedback, instant feedback of how well you're doing with something.
This one thing that really made me like get in the artist lane 100% was the ability to be present. I'm always like thinking of like the next move, but when I'm on stage, there's nothing that I'm nowhere else but on the stage, and I love being cheeky with people in the audience and picking on people or having fun and making someone laugh or making someone feel special. And when I'm on stage, it's the only time in my life where I'm 100% there, 100% present. And like to live consciously and be 100% in the moment is really hard sometimes, but on the stage, that's the only, and I just love it. Like, I just love that feeling of being 100% there.
Yes, I agree. And I think we see that some in this video we'll look at in a minute. We're here to talk about your latest release, I Want to Get Away With You. What inspired that song? Well,
I met my husband in a bar on a Tuesday night in Broadway in Nashville, and he walked up to me and he said, I would really love to buy you dinner sometime. And I was like, oh, that's really nice. Like, no one ever asks to take you for dinner anymore. They normally ask for drinks or whatever. And so like, okay. And we exchanged numbers. At that point, I was kind of like a bit annoyed. I didn't really feel like getting chatted up by a guy or anything. And so I was kind of like pretty unimpressed, but I gave him my number and dismissed. Like, I just said, all right, like, I don't want to be talked to, I was like so over dating. And then I ended up going for dinner with him, and it turned into the best date I've ever had. And my music video, Tennessee, actually takes you through our first date, and Steve actually acted in that Tennessee music video. But, we dated for 3 weeks, and then I went home to Australia, and I went home until I was better, because I was still sick at the time. And I just went home until I recovered. And I was a month in, and I was the sickest I've ever been. I could not talk for a month, could hardly talk. And he ended up calling me up. We were FaceTiming, and I was typing my responses while he'd talk to me, because I couldn't talk. And he said, how would you feel if I flew over and come and seen you? And I said, well, I'd feel like that's a bit creepy. But he flew out, met my family, and I was like, I'm not sure. Like, I said to my family, I said, it's not like he's gonna be my husband or anything. And he met my family, and within that week, I fell in love with him. And the next week, I was on the plane back to Nashville.
Wow.
And so it was a pretty whirlwind. And I Want to Get Away With You is really that theme of wanting to get away with someone, physically, but also wanting to get away with someone's heart, and not, and not getting held up or caught, or, you can actually you get away with it this time. Most times you want to get away with someone in love, you want to steal their heart, and you can never get away with it. But I got away with it this time. So
that's fantastic.
We got married this year.
Yeah. You want to get away with them wherever you are.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, that's great. Well, I've really enjoyed listening to this song. So let's play it right now and let everybody else enjoy it.
Yay.
You're watching Katrina Burgoyne's video for I Want to Get Away With You on AIM Country Music Television.
weekend, throwing every dime at a good time weekend, turning it up all over town. No plans on settling down. Then you photobomb me on a rooftop bar. The next late night I'm in your car. Your hands in my hair, I whisper in your ear for the record, boy. I wanna get away with you and be the lucky one that takes it too far, that gets out of here with you, that doesn't get caught doing what I shouldn't do. I don't care what I'm getting into. Out in the sky, fading in the rear view. I wanna get away, I wanna get away. Ooh, I wanna get away with you. I don't know if I could keep this car from wrecking. 90 miles an hour, kissing every other second. Your breath on my neck, fogging up the windshield. You got the wheel. I wanna get away with you and be the lucky one that takes it too far, that gets out of here with you, that doesn't get caught doing what you shouldn't do. I don't care what I'm getting into. I'm right in the sky, faded in a rear view. I wanna get away, I wanna get away. Ooh, I wanna get away with you. I wanna get away, 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 wanna get away. I wanna get away, get away with you. I wanna get away, get away with you. I wanna get away with you. Be the lucky one that takes it too far, that gets out of here with you, that doesn't get caught doing what we shouldn't do. I don't care what I'm getting into. I'm right in the sky, faded in a rear view. I wanna get away, I wanna get away. Ooh, I wanna get away with you. Yeah. Better rather, baby. Oh, put the pedal down. Oh, you're my baby. Burning rubber, baby. When we on Tuesday night, what we got is so right. You'll be in with you, I do. All I know is
What a great video. It just feels like young love in the summertime.
Yes, we had some two really cute actors. It was their first time acting, Julia and Sam, and they were so cute. But we wanted to have the theme of the camera in the music video of like, she was taking a photo of the camera and he trips over her, and right up until the point of like they're kind of taking a photo with their camera and then he proposes, and that was how Steve proposed to me. So we wanted to kind of put a little bit of our own love story in there too, but they did a great job, and we also got a band out in the field. It was a stinking hot day, but we had a great time. My husband actually is a cinematographer, so he's behind the camera. So he actually also is my guitarist, so we have to hire a guitarist in every time we film a music video with a guitarist in there. But Steve, he does an amazing job, and it's hard to play two roles sometimes.
Yeah, it is, especially when they need to happen at exactly the same time.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's awesome. So he did all the cinematography on this video.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Pretty clever.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah. He also does all the music production as well. So he's a Swiss Army knife.
Oh, wow. No wonder you married him.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that I didn't know he did any of this when we started dating.
Is that right?
100%. And I would go away. He had a corporate job, and I'd go away on weekends and play shows. And then I'd get home at, on a Sunday, and he'd go, I said, what did you do this weekend? And he's like, oh, I just was creating music at home. I'm like, okay, cool. Do you want to play me some stuff? And he's like, nah, it's fine. And so then when he wouldn't really share much with me, and I just thought he did it for fun. And then when COVID happened, he suggested maybe we try spending that time in lockdown recording an EP. And that's how all my first, 25 Cents in the Ashtray, Tennessee, all of that was an experiment. And turn into something amazing. Now it's Steve's full-time job being a producer of audio and producer of cinematography.
Well, he does a great job. That guy's a keeper.
He is for sure.
Well, before I let you get out of here, how about you telling us about where to find you and where to buy your music? Just where can we see you live? Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all my details are on kbcountry.net, kbcountry.net. And, I don't have a hometown here in the USA. So I want to just do a big shout out to anyone listening or anyone who liked the song. Please follow me, feed my hometown crowd, and brainwash all your friends. Or listen, stream my music. All the support. I need some supporters in the USA. So I would love that. That would mean the world. kbcountry.net.
You got it. Well, sounds good.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for coming on today. It's been really good talking to you.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. It's so good to put a face to a name.
Yeah, right back at you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Katrina Burgoyne. So what do you guys think? Is I Want to Get Away With You going to be your new favorite song? This has been Mark Gilliott for AIM Country Music Television. Thanks for watching.